Hello there, I'm Cynthia, and today I'll be sharing with you some tips for leveraging Zoom's basic features to foster participation in your online classes. By the way, I'm using Zoom itself to record this video. Think about your setup. What's the setup that leads to the best communication with your students? I'm the kind of person that uses dual monitors, and on Zoom, you can definitely choose this option. However, I don't like it very much because what it looks like when you see the students is this. This is monitor 1, this is monitor 2. You end up seeing yourself in a totally separate monitor and all the students here, and I don't think that's the best setup to be able to see and interact with everybody. What you see here is happening with just the normal Zoom in only one screen, and then the material I'm going to use showing in the other screen. This is my absolute favorite setup. If you have access to all that, I completely recommend. Here's what's happening here. I have 2 monitors and a laptop. So in the 2 monitors, one of them I have a presenter view. Here I have gallery view. And here I have the content of what I'm going to use next. My files, everything I'm going to need for my class. If you're going to use the kind of setup that uses 2 devices, a few considerations for you. First of all, in one of the devices, the sound has to be completely off, microphone and speakers. And that's because if you don't do that, you get this echo going back and forth and you end up with this whining sound that's really deafening. Another suggestion is do not be signed in both devices from the same account. When you sign in from the same account, you're usually the host in both of them, and it's really impossible to turn off the sound completely in one of them. Some sound will always be there, and you will always have that echo. If you try to use polling, you're going to get this error message. Here's a few things you can do with your virtual background to foster some interaction. Changing your virtual background, other than being fun, can serve other purposes. It can be a great activity to get to know one another, a great introductory activity. For example, here is a picture of me with my school mascot. This is the front of my building. This is the front of another building. And here is something that we can use to teach. Green tea, anyone? You can also express yourself. You can tell students, choose the virtual background of your favorite movie or favorite TV series. And they can talk about it and they can explain to you why they picked that background. You can also ask them to pick a background that shows their home city or their hometown. Another Zoom feature to explore, it's the recording option. As you know, you can record Zoom meetings, just like I'm recording this one right now. When you log into the Zoom website, not the Zoom app, but the website itself, it will give you a few options for recording. I recommend recording the active speaker with the shared screen. That's what I'm doing right now. One feature I highly, highly, highly recommend checking is the audio transcript, and I'm going to show you why. Here's a video I made with my family. My husband was blindfolded, and we gave him stuff to try to eat or drink. Here is the transcript. So as you can see, some parts of the transcript are really great, dead on, getting more water. That's exactly what I said. However, it doesn't always do a great job. So for example, we gave him something that was bacon soda. The transcript says baking soda. So sometimes the mistakes in transcriptions aren't like that because of something that was really, really close. But sometimes the mistakes are really way out there. For example, see here in the transcript where it says Sunday after and Sunday? Here's what the original sound was like.
Cynthia.
And this is my favorite, piccolo player. Piccolo player, okay.
This is pickle flavored.
Pickle flavored ended up as piccolo player. So as you can see, Zoom makes a few mistakes in its transcripts, but you can take advantage of that and create an activity. So if a student makes a presentation, you can have them go over the transcript and then look at this icon here. This means you can edit the transcript. So if you click here, then you can go and change piccolo player to pickle flavored and so on. You can have students go over that and see if they find anything that Zoom is doing all the time. So maybe there's a word they're constantly mispronouncing. And think about it. Are they mispronouncing something or is it a Zoom problem? You know, in live classes when we can just write on a whiteboard and it's great, right? If you've ever tried Zoom's whiteboard, it's not great. But you can use an iPhone or iPad as your whiteboard. If you press share screen, you're going to get a few options. One of the options is going to be iPhone/iPad. When you click on that, it's going to give you instructions on what to do. You can write on your iPad and it's going to show on Zoom. Another fun feature of Zoom is reactions. Here's what you can do. At the bottom of your screen, you're going to see reactions. And the most famous ones, the most common ones are the like reaction, and you will see it on a corner of the screen here, or the clap reaction when you're happy with what somebody said. But there are other reactions that you can use. If you click on participants so you can see the participants in that conversation, you will see there are more options. Yes, no, go slower, go faster. In the more, you have the dislike, the like, the clap. This is I need a break, and this is I'm going away. On the student side, you won't see this, but the students will. There's the raise hand feature. When you click on that, your instructor is going to see a little hand next to your name and will know that you're trying to speak. By now, you probably know that Zoom allows for breakout rooms, and there's a lot that you can do with breakout rooms, and it's a great tool for students interacting with each other. You probably know this already. You can decide how many rooms or how many people in each room. What's not so great about Zoom breakout rooms is that it doesn't really mirror the classroom experience. In class, when students are working in groups, you can overhear a group here, a group there. You can take a look. You can see if everyone is engaged. On Zoom, there's really no way to see all the groups at the same time and what they're doing. When you want to do that, you actually have to join a room together with your students. Another problem with the Zoom breakout rooms is that you can still use the chat, but whatever happens in the chat, only the members of the same group can see it. So as an instructor, if you want to communicate with everyone in class while they are in the breakout rooms, it's really hard. Something that you can do while students are in the room is to broadcast a message, and this is what they will see. But see here, I say, do you see my message? Even though I wrote that, I have no way of getting an answer from the students. They will see it, but they cannot write back. From inside the breakout rooms, students can also ask for help. You won't see this icon, but the students will. And finally, games. There are many online games that you can also play on Zoom. Here I'm going to focus on using Zoom's features themselves to play different games. The first thing is just polling. It's not exactly a game, but it's kind of fun. You can use it as a test if there's content that you're not sure if everybody got. And you can use it just to make people get a little more involved. To do a poll, you just click on polls here at the bottom, and it's going to show you the ones you have saved. If you have none saved or you don't know how to do that, well, click on edit, and this is going to bring you to the Zoom web page. From the web page, you can either edit an existing poll or you can create a new one. Here are a few things you can do with screen sharing. This is just a PowerPoint slide with a chart. You instruct students to work with annotate. So if their favorite season is fall, they can use draw to do this, or they can use stamp. And here's someone that preferred summer. Another little game, again, this is a PowerPoint slide. It's a matching game, and then students can use the draw function. Be very careful if you use this, because depending on the class you have, this is what happens. Things can go wrong. This slide is good though, because it can show you different ways to annotate. Here's a low-tech option if you don't want to use PowerPoint. This was just drawn on a piece of paper with a Sharpie. You take a picture of that, and then when you want to share the screen, you choose a photo, and you can do the same things that you would do with a PowerPoint with the annotate tool. Here's a big recap. We talked about the best setup. We talked about using virtual background for students to express themselves. We talked about using recordings and transcripts. We can annotate from an iPhone or iPad. We used reactions. We talked a little about breakout rooms, and we talked about a few simple games that you can do with just Zoom and PowerPoint or any picture. And that's it for now. I hope you got at least one great idea that you can try right away.